Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to yet another exciting episode of the Uncensored Podcast. My name is Usmanga Mhlophe, MC Ongenas Efe. We're back. The last podcast you saw, we were speaking politics. So we saw people wanted to speak about politics more. So we decided let's go that road once again. Sizokhuluma ngepolitiki bafethu today. It's gonna be a beautiful one. It's gonna be an exciting one. And hopefully we're going to get a lot of secrets on what's happening in KwaDukuza right now. We are here to spy for secrets. We want to know what's happening. We want to know. The people want to know. We are sponsored by Fox Group, your permanent trading solution. If you want to trade, please do check out Fox Group in all their social media platforms. The 714 method guy. That's Fox Group. Now, our social network. I want to get this out of the way real quick so we can do this. Our social network, we are the Uncensored TV on YouTube. We are MQM Events and Marketing on Facebook. That's all. Behind the camera, we've got Mandla, Peter Parker, Spider-Man, and the Umuntu Omkhulu, Big Boss. Let's do this. On today's episode, we've got, I think she's going to be a very good friend of mine as well. Very soon. We've got a caucus leader of the DA, in KwaDukuza. She is one of the councillors there in KwaDukuza. She sits in all the meetings. She does everything. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, please help me welcome Councilor Privi Makhan.
You got that right. Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. And it's so great to be on the Uncensored. Thank you so much, Smanga, for extending the invite to me. I'm excited.
It's going to be a nice one.
I think so.
I think it's going to be a nice one. Now, how has your day been today?
So no 2 days are the same. And that's obviously the nature of the game in local government. And we navigate, we move, hey, as they say. As you young people say, we move, yeah.
How long have you been in politics?
Formal politics since 2019. So I came in 2019 in a by-election. So there was a by-election in the ward that I am currently the ward councillor in, which is Ward 22. The ward councillor unfortunately passed on. And there was a by-election in June of that year, and I won the ward by 94.6%. I know. And then in 2021, I contested again, and then was re-elected. So, yeah.
Do you think next year, 2026 elections, you're going to win again?
The ward, certainly. So the DA will definitely...
all confident and stuff.
Absolutely, absolutely. The DA will definitely retain Ward 22 and other wards.
Are you not afraid because there are new parties now, like your MK party, all those other parties that are new? Are you not afraid?
So in 2021, there were also new political parties, but we managed to retain our wards. And I think, in fact, in 2026, what potentially will happen is we'll grow as a political party. Yes.
So you guys are the official opposing, I don't want to, can I say opposing party in KwaDukuza right now?
Correct. We are the official opposition in council.
How many seats do you have in council?
So we have 9 seats. So in the 2021 local government election, we got, I think it was around 16% of the vote in KwaDukuza. Yes.
Okay. Now, let's do this, girl. We are here to...
Are we talking local issues?
I want us to jump straight into it and then we just digest it along the way.
Okay.
We're still here. We're still doing this. I'm looking at the statement that you wrote here. The statement that you released a short while ago. As the DA caucus leader. I read it before we went live. There's something about 750,000 per month that goes on security guards for homes of politicians, including former mayor.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's happening there?
So, so maybe just to contextualize it, because obviously the public haven't seen the statement. So the statement is around the draft budget. And what we're saying in the draft budget, that our observation has been that there's a 30 million rand reduction in security costs. Now bear in mind, KwaDukuza on a monthly basis pay up to 5 million rand a month in security costs to contracted security provider. In the month of March, 750,000 rand of that, in fact, 754,000 rand of that is attributed to security guards being allocated to the homes of councillors. And one of it is the home of the former mayor. So she's been allocated security guards for her house.
Why? Why she has...
Well, that's my point. In addition to that, she's been allocated 2 close protection officers. I mean, like, I'm very curious about which community she's leading. That would warrant her to have that many threats. And
I'm not... I don't know much about politics, but is it not a law that you forfeit some of the perks, like the perks of having guards after you vacate the mayor seats?
Yeah, but how close protection within a council space works? And remember, we must also be sensitive to the KZN political environment.
Yeah.
It's not an easy province to work in.
Sure.
So the way the council close protection policy works is that if you have a threat, if you have a threat that has been sent to you, or if your life is under threat, through the Office of the Speaker and the Office of the Municipal Manager, dependent on a SAP's risk assessment, you can be allocated close protection. So that would be a bodyguard or 2, and then obviously your house will be protected. So clearly,
I wanna be a politician now. I wanna have guards. I would send a letter and say,
is it as long as it just to inflate your ego? That's why you want to be walking around with bodyguards, right? Yeah.
Now, Privi, let's speak more about this budgets, this money getting missing. But before we get to that, how many guards has the mayor been allocated?
So the mayor, from my observation, the current mayor, I think he's been allocated 5 close protection officers. Now the norm is as a mayor, you are only allowed 2.
2.
Yes.
So what's with this other 3? Is there threats to him?
We would know.
Were you guys not part of the one who voted for Alingidi to be mayor?
Absolutely.
Were you against or not?
We were not in support of that.
Why not?
Well,
was it because he's part of his ANC?
Smanga, if you remember the way that whole thing unfolded, so the political party that the current mayor comes from, his party had recalled the former mayor.
Exactly.
And then there was a vote of no confidence in the former mayor.
Sure.
Our position as a DA at the time was, we are not here to fix the ANC's problems. The ANC must fix their own problems.
Yeah.
So we were not going to get involved in any of that.
Sure.
So other political parties, 47 people voted for the new mayor. The 9 DA seats, we totally abstained from that.
Who would you like to see as a mayor? Because you guys abstain. Who does the DA say, we want this person or someone from this political party to be, we wanted this person to be a mayor?
Swanga, it's a really hard one to say who we would want as the mayor. Sure. Ideally, obviously, we would like to be in government.
Obviously, yeah.
But we would like to be in a very strong, stable coalition government right now.
Yeah.
And obviously, 2026 will be a different opportunity.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's hard to say who we would have wanted from the other side for now.
And then there's this fleet of KDM 1, KDM 2, KDM 3. People are saying the residents are paying for those fleets. The mayor rented cars. What's happening there?
Okay, so how that unfolded was on the 26th of November, we, as the official opposition, as the DA in council, wrote to the municipal manager based on our own observation.
Sure.
So our observation at the time was that there was municipal fleet that was purchased for the use of political office bearers.
Yeah.
But when the new office bearers came in on the 5th of November, they chose to not use that fleet.
Sure.
So they'd gone out and they'd hired luxury vehicles. So it was BMW X5s and X3s. We wrote to the municipal manager. They came back indicating that there were mechanical failures on these vehicles, and the vehicles had to then go in for assessments. Eventually, they brought an item to council. I think it was around the 13th of December, before council closed for recess, to say that the municipal manager would go out and ask National Treasury for an opinion on whether they could buy new vehicles. There was no reason for new vehicles to be purchased. The National Treasury came back with an opinion saying absolutely not.
Yeah.
And based on that opinion, at the beginning of, might have been the beginning of Feb, the hired vehicles had to be returned, and the current political office bearers are now using the vehicles that were procured 2 years ago
Yeah.
for the use. What hasn't been still quantified is the cost. We don't know how much it cost to hire those vehicles for that period.
But isn't such thing discussed at council?
We made a recommendation. So
They
we made a
didn't.
proposal in council, and it was actually supported by one other political party to say that, yes, we would like to see.
Was that your political party Independent Alliance?
Yes, it actually was Independent Alliance that supported our proposal. It might have been at the I think it was the 5th or the 12th of Feb.
Sure.
Where we made the proposal to say we want a comprehensive report on what the cost is for the hire of those vehicles, but we haven't seen that yet.
While we're speaking cost, while we're speaking cost, let's speak about the 37 million that went missing, because we are here to find the stand of DA in every issue that's happening in KwaDukuza. So we want to know, does the DA know where the 37 million went?
So Smanga, there's two aspects to it. The one is, as a DA, we'll never delve into that space of aspersions. So if we take something out into the public domain, it's tried and tested. It is based on credibility and our own personal and anecdotal observation.
Sure.
So the amount that went missing on the 31st of January, which has been ventilated publicly, is 35.7 million. Okay. Just over 30 million rand of that has been recovered. Okay. 4.9 million, I think, is still missing and has gone to some individuals who have not returned that money back.
Are you in a space to say, do you know those individuals? Are you in a space to say those individuals are so and so?
So there was a report that came to council from the actual bank. Sure. So it was from Absa Bank. But I think the other thing that we must remember is that I am a member of council. So I'm from the official opposition, but I'm still a member of council, which means that I am bound by the standing rules of council when it comes to in-committee items. So in-committee items deal with items that have an element of confidentiality to it. And I would never want to name individuals, especially if it could compromise an investigation. So I will tell you what the DA's position is.
Okay.
And our position is, based on the outcome of the forensic investigation, which is now underway, we want every individual that is mentioned and complicit in this to be held accountable, for the rule of law to be upheld 100%, and for consequence management to eventually be meted out, because we don't see that happening in the local government space. So that is our position.
But do you see the remaining money coming back? Do you see it's happening very soon?
I think it's going to be a very difficult one, because the money went missing 4 months ago. Actually, we're going into the 5th month. So if anyone had an intention of sending that money back, they would have. So my view is, let's see.
Maybe there's one individual, someone sitting there looking at us right now and saying, look at these people, the money is here. I have
the money. I have it in a Louis Vuitton bag.
A certain councillor with certain, I won't say, you know who I'm talking about. Now, let's speak about the DA. How has the DA been doing in KwaDukuza, let's say, the past 2 years?
So, I think that we are a very strong opposition, and that is my considered view. And I think that our footprint has certainly extended. So if you look at the work collectively that we as the 9 councillors do, so we have 3 DA wards in KwaDukuza out of 30. So we've got 3 DA wards, which are wards 22, 6, and 30, which are along the coastal belt. And then we've got 6 PR councillors who work in various areas like Ward 17, 16, 19, 20, 13, 27, and 2. And those councillors do an extraordinary job.
So the DA is not much big on the north side of KwaDukuza. You are on the coastal side, not on the north side. By north side, I mean your Stanger, your Grauwil, moving that side.
So when you say big in terms of voter percentage,
on voter percentage and also on councillors, you don't have any councillors that side.
No, we do. So we have the lion's share of the vote on the south, in the 3 south wards, but we have 6 proportional representation councillors on that side. So they're not elected ward councillors, but they're proportionally represented. So they represent the DA in council based on proportionality. And what our political party does is they allocate councillors to strategic wards where you can grow the footprint of the DA. And those are the 6 other wards that I have mentioned. And I can tell you they're doing an extraordinary job.
And how is a councillor selected within the DA? How do you become a councillor within the DA so you can stand for in a ward level?
That is so interesting because I'm pretty sure we had an offline discussion about you wanting to become a councillor. So the process is actually open right now for 2026.
Okay.
So the application process is open, but the way it works with the DA is it's very different to other political parties. So other political parties go out and they put names out to the community, and then the community vote for people. With the DA, you apply. So you apply to become a local government councillor. You send your credentials through, you send your documentation through.
Do I have to have a political background?
Not necessarily, but you've got to be a member of the political party, yes. And I think that you must subscribe to the values of the DA. So you apply, there's quite a rigorous process thereafter. So there's an interview process. You appear before a selection panel and an electoral college. And once that process is done, that list then is submitted to the IEC and they ratify the list, or the party ratifies the list, submits it to the IEC, and that becomes your list for the next local government
And you
election.
get paid.
You do get paid because, let's be honest, we can't survive on love and fresh air, right?
Yeah,
And this is hard work.
It's very hard work.
Yeah, you asked me earlier, you were like, you guys on this side have it easy with our residents. That's such a fallacy. Where do you get that from?
No, but you guys, you live in this.
Oh my word! Do you see these bags under my eyes? These designer bags under my eyes.
Is this side not considered as the suburb side of KwaDukuza?
It is suburban, but there's suburbs on the north. Actually, you come from Ward 29.
Yeah,
Isn't it Little Zimbali? Little Zimbali? Oh, that's Tembeni.
No, because we have deputy mayor doesn't mean we live in the suburbs.
No, but let's be honest. If you look at the houses in some of the wards in KwaDukuza, which are non-rate-paying wards, Tembeni is one of them. Ward 12, if you look at those houses, Ward 17 is a suburb, Ward 16 is a suburb. So I think there's a north and south.
But don't you think we don't get service delivery the same here in Ballito and in Stanger?
I disagree for 2 reasons. So the first one is we have always called for equitable distribution of services. So it doesn't matter if you're a ratepayer or you're an indigent consumer, you should have the same level of service. And for us as local government councillors who are at the coalface, that has always been our position as the DA. But the reason Ballito functions better is for 2 reasons. And Salt Rock, is we have very, very active citizens. So we have very active civic bodies and NPOs that partner with their ward councillors. And I'll speak to my ward specifically before we move to Ballito. So in my ward, we have the Dolphin Coast Conservancy who do all our cleaning and greening for us. So they go out and they take care of all your verges, picking up of alien invasives. You have the business community that literally just step in. So they help with multiple projects. We've just finished a project now where we've assisted, in fact, the post office. So we've just assisted the Mhlali post office with electrification and IT infrastructure. And that was done by the business community. So we have that kind of partnerships on this side, and that's why it functions a bit better. Ballito, specifically here in Ward 6, they've got the UIP, which is the Urban Improvement Precinct. So they're a contracted service provider to council, but it's funded by the ratepayer. And they look after the Ballito Promenade, and they look after the verges and security all the way up Ballito Drive to kind of like the McDonald's intersection.
But there's an issue again also with, let's look at the public transports as a whole. Taxis, Ubers. I'm sure you do get complaint about taxi drivers in these areas. about Ubers in
Yeah.
these areas?
So most of my complaints are about the taxi drivers
Sure.
and the way taxis operate outside of the confines of the law.
Mm.
So the one thing we must recognize, Smanga, and which is very important for people to understand, is the role that the taxi industry play in our local economy.
Yeah.
Because all the commuters that come into Ballito, so they are your restaurant staff, the staff that work at all the supermarkets and shopping malls, domestic workers and gardeners, that is their only mode of transport.
Yeah.
So we have to be sensitive to that.
Yeah.
So the role of the taxi industry is very recognized.
So,
however, the disconnect that they have in terms of how they fulfill their duties is problematic. And I think that is a discussion for, or it should take more synergy from law enforcement. And I think the reality is that law enforcement are so hamstrung that that's the one component that they simply don't know how to deal with. What we do here, so if we have an errant taxi, we take a photo because they all have like a number at the back, like it's on the left-hand corner.
Sure.
So we take a photo and we send it to the chairperson of the association because we have that working relationship with the chairperson of the Dolphin Coast Taxi Association here. And to a degree, it does work.
So it's nice. You've got that privilege of taking straight to the man in charge.
It's not a privilege. It's stakeholder relationships and it's managing relationships. Because I think anyone has that avenue. Any ward councillor, anyone elected into this office has that avenue. It simply is about open communication and managing that relationship.
So basically it's called connections.
It's not connections. I call it relationship management. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a politically correct term, yes.
Let's speak about the DA moving to 2026.
Yes.
It's 2025 now. We are going to elections next year in 2026. It's called government elections, no?
Local government elections, correct.
Elections.
Yeah.
Last year we had elections and we saw new parties coming in. We saw a different type of percentage going to different type of parties. We thought some people thought the ANC would thrive like they used to.
Yeah.
Some thought new parties will take over. Let's speak about the DA going to 2026. What are the plans for the DA going to 2026 elections, and what are expectations as well?
Okay, so I think we're very excited about the run-up to the 2026 local government elections, Smanga.
Sure.
Because honestly, the only chain that an ANC mayor is going to get after the 2026 local government elections in KwaDukuza is a chain from American Swiss. Oh! Because they got 22.7% of the vote in 2024. The DA got 22.6% of the vote in 2024.
Sure.
So the reality is that the way this is going to move is the DA are either going to be in government or in a very, very strong coalition, a stable coalition government after the 2026 local government elections. So we're excited about the campaign. If you look at the trajectory of what happened in 2024, if that was a local government election, we would have gotten 8 seats, 8 wards. Eight wards. Currently, we only have 3 wards. We would have ended up with 8 wards, which would inform the number of proportional seats we would have ended up with. So I am excited. I think my colleagues are excited. And at a provincial level or at a national level, KwaDukuza has been identified as a strategic municipality for the DA to take over in 2026. Well, it'll probably be early 2027. Yeah.
So are you already hitting the ground running, or you're going to start your groundwork maybe early next year?
So Smanga, for us as the DA, elections are won between elections. So we are not of the view that you must only hit the ground running 6 months before a local government election or a national election. For us, it's boots on the ground every day. And I'll go back to the point I made earlier about my 6 colleagues who are PR councillors and the work they do in wards where they are not ward councillors and the challenges they deal with. And I think those communities will see what the DA can deliver in 2026 and how good governance should should roll out.
Mm.
I mean, we look at a municipality, and historically, I used to compare, and whenever I used to speak to people, I would be like, look at the Western Cape and how the DA functions, or how government functions there under the DA. And now we actually have something up the road that we can compare with, which is the Umgeni local municipality. You follow Chris Pappas.
Yeah.
The Umgeni local municipality, they won that municipality by 42 votes. So the DA are in an outright majority there, winning by 42 votes. And if you look at the work that they are doing in terms of good governance, how appointments are made, how budgets are being spent, how indigent consumers have gone from, they've gone from 100, I think it was just over 120 indigent consumers when they took over in 2021 to providing services to over 2,000 indigent consumers in not even in one full term, So I think that's what the people of KwaDukuza should be looking forward to in 2026.
The people should be looking forward to DA rolling out service delivery accordingly.
And good governance.
And good governance.
Because I think that is what any municipality should pride themselves on.
Which political party are you in bed with? Just so we can wrap up right now. Which
are we done?
We're almost done.
I love my voice though.
No, we'll speak after this. We'll talk for days. Now, which political parties are you in bed with in KwaDukuza right now? Which political parties do you work with?
No, the DA does not have any strategic or unofficial alliance with any political party. We're not in a government of local unity by any means. We have a cordial working relationship with other opposition parties in council, but it's a cordial working relationship. We do not have any strategic alliance.
If you
are
not part of the DA or part of the DA, which party would you be part of?
I would only be a part of the DA.
Look at you,
my values completely aligned to the DA.
Not the Independent Alliance, your friend there.
Shezi. Let me give a shout out to him. Yeah.
Let's wrap up, Privi. Thank you so much for coming through. Is there anything you want to tell the people before we wrap up?
Yeah. So I think firstly, to business, a shout out to local business to support the Uncensored Podcast and to sponsor them, like sponsorships right here, right, Smanga?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Yes, and also the DA will sponsor us, give us $1 million or something.
I plead the fifth on that. Like, we're a political party. Like, we need money as well. Yeah. Just to say to the viewers that we have a very big local government election coming up. Watch out for the DA and the strides that we are going to be making in KwaDukuza. And thank you again.
And you're taking the mayor down, the deputy mayor down. You're going to have your people there next year.
It's going to be an interesting time in KwaDukuza. Yes, bring on 2026.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Mahlangu. We are sponsored by Foxy Group, your permanent trading solution. 714 method, that's how they do it. So if you want to trade, we'll have the links and everything down in the comment section there. My name is Mahlangu. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Pastor friend, thank you so much for coming through, Privi Makhan.
Yes, you got that right.
From me, Mahlangu, from the team, till we meet again on the next episode. If you're a political party out there, you want to come through, please come through. The floor is open. We out.